Hey guys, this is my response video for Sammy. He goes by the name Falagar on YouTube. I'll put a link to his original video in the description box. Recently he did a video where he compared the director's cut of films to the theatrical cut, and I really enjoyed it a lot, so much so that I decided to do a response video. So I got three films here, and I'm going to talk about them real quick, and I'm going to choose my favorite version of the film, I guess. Okay, so first up we have Blade Runner, and for this one, this movie has many different versions. Like this one here has four different versions on it by itself, but for this, I'm just gonna go the original 1982 theatrical cut versus the first director's cut that came out in 1992. Now the most glaring thing about this movie, because for the most part it pretty much plays the same, except for the theatrical cut has narration. I guess the studio felt that people couldn't follow what was happening in the film, so they decided to have Harrison Ford come back and do a narration, which must have drove Ridley Scott crazy. The idea that they couldn't follow what they're seeing. Now, I originally saw the film with the narration, so I wonder how it'd feel if I actually had watched this one after watching the director's cut. The narration's okay. But the other film is much different. They also went with a happier ending with the theatrical cut, whereas the director's cut is more ambiguous. They even added an extra scene onto the original theatrical cut. Now, the original video release for this VHS back in 1982, they actually added more gore to the head crushing scene. So that was like one of the first things where they actually extended it there. And there's been other different video versions as well for Blade Runner. But for this one, I'm going to go with the director's cut. I like the idea that they had the dream sequence with the unicorn and stuff like that, and it added more questions. But of course, with the sequel coming out, that's kind of taken care of now. All right, so that was Blade Runner. All right. Next up, we have Nightbreed. Now, I know that there's been talk of the Cabal cut coming out, but this one is listed as a director's cut. I don't know if Clive Barker prefers this cut to the Cabal cut, because I think that was like a fan edit, that one. And so this is originally a 1990 release, and then I think it was 2014 this Blu-ray came out from Scream Factory. Now this one is vastly different as well. Especially towards the end. Like, there's one of the characters that survives the theatrical cut that actually dies in the director's cut. And also, the main character's girlfriend actually chooses to become one of the creatures. Like, she commits suicide and forces Boone to bring her back to life, where that's totally missing from the theatrical. The one thing I didn't like about the director's cut, though, is there's a scene where the girlfriend is singing at a bar, and it looked really bad. It looked like she wasn't singing, like she was lip syncing the song, as opposed to actually it didn't look really natural, is what I'm trying to say. So for this one, I'm still, even though I don't like that one scene, I'm still going to go with the director's cut on that. Alright, and last up we have Jade. Now this movie's from 1995. I have two versions of this, but I can't find the director's cut of this one in the basement somewhere. This one's stars David Caruso and Chaz Palminteri. This is a really interesting film. This one was written by the same guy that wrote Basic Instinct, and it's one of those movies where it's like a sex and murder type thing. And for the most part, these films play the same up until towards the end. Like, there is more nudity in the director's cut. There's a scene where this woman is grinding her foot into a guy's crotch that's missing from a theatrical cut. But towards the end is where there's a big difference. The theatrical cut has a really great ending where there's like a great reveal, and then the film ends, where the director's cut continues the scene on a bit, but it doesn't go much further than that. Like, it was building up to a confrontation, and then the film ends anyway. So it's like, why even bother do the confrontation if you're not going to continue on with the story? Because it could have gone for another 20 minutes, but instead they ended it like a few minutes later than the theatrical cut. So for that one, I'm going to go with the theatrical cut. All right, guys, that's it. Be sure to check out Falagar's original video. The link to that will be in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you all later.